Today we will be learning Chapter 3, Lesson 5, Divide Multi-Digit Numbers, which hopefully you can see right at the top over here. Okay, and then we got our questions, main idea column on this side, and the notes, of course, over here. Here's your table of contents. And here is what your page of notes should look like. All right, so what we're going to divide multi-digit numbers. Okay, so we're not dividing decimals yet. So what we're going to do today, you probably have already done, and you've already seen us do in the classroom. So we're going to be using long division. The first example we're going to do is 12 divided by 3. So first let's write down a main idea. So use long division to divide multi-digit numbers. Okay, so all we're saying so far is that we're going to be using long division. One other thing I want us to write in this column is some of what I've been saying in class when we're using long division, what steps to use. Okay, and that is D, M, S, C, B. This is something like an acronym to help us remember what steps we should be following when we're doing long division. So I'm going to spell these out over here. Okay, so D stands for divide. That's our first step. M stands for multiply, and that's our second step. The S stands for subtract, and that's our third step. C stands for check, and that's our fourth step. And then B is our fifth step, and B stands for bring down. Okay, so make sure you wrote that on there to have as a reference. All right, so first let's divide 12 divided by 3. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite that here, 12 divided by 3. Just so you know, 12 divided by 3 is going to look the same as this notation. Okay, so those are the same things. So now I'm going to rewrite it in the form that we want to use long division in. So it's going to look like this. So this is my denominator, this is my numerator, and I'm going to make sure to put my denominator on the outside of this box. Okay, so denominator goes on the outside, and then my numerator is going to go on the inside. Okay, so now, before you get ahead of yourself, because 12 divided by 3 is kind of an easy one, we're going to take this one step at a time. So with this note card, I'm going to be covering some of what we're doing. That way, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. So the first thing I want to do is look at the first number. And I'm going to say, does 3 go into 1? And no, it does not. So when I'm asking myself, does 3 go into 1, or whatever number you're asking, does this number go into that number? We are using the first step, which is divide. So does 3 go into 1? No, it does not. So I'm going to put 0 up here. Okay, and then my second step is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply it. 3 times 0 is 0. Okay, and now I'm going to subtract, which is my third step. Okay, so then 1 minus 0 is just 1. And my fourth step is to check. So you might be wondering, how am I going to check this? What you're going to do is make sure what we're looking for when we're checking is to see is 1 less than 3. And if it is, put a check mark next to it. So this is saying that we did our subtraction correctly and we did our division correctly. So up until now, we've got everything down correctly. So you're looking to make sure that this number right here is less than this number, okay? So now I'm going to bring down. So now I can bring down the 2 and I don't have to cover it up. So once I bring it down, okay, I have 12. So now I'm going to repeat all of these steps, okay? So now I'm going to divide. How many times does 3 go into 12? 3 goes into 12 4 times. Okay, now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to check. Is 0 less than 3? Yes, it is. So I'm going to give myself a little check mark here. Now I don't have anything else to bring down, and I've divided everything through. I followed all my steps, so I have my answer right here. So I can say 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Okay? All right, let's try something a little harder. So why don't we try 351 divided by 9? All right, I'm going to rewrite this. This is the same as saying 351 divided by 9. And that is the same as saying, so if I want to put this into this format to long divide, this is my denominator. I'm going to put my denominator on the outside. My numerator is going to go on the inside. Okay, so these are saying the same things. I just rewrote it. So now I'm going to follow these steps to long divide. So first I'm going to divide. That's step 1 up here. So how many times does 9 go into 3? Goes into 3 0 times. Now I'm going to multiply my second step. 9 times 0 is 0. Going to subtract my third step. So 3 minus 0 is 3. I'm now going to bring down, or I'm going to check, sorry. So I need to check. I need to make sure that 3 is less than 9. Yes, it is. So I'm going to give myself a little check mark, okay? Now I'm going to bring down. I'm going to bring down this 5. Okay, now I'm going to start at the beginning again because I followed all my steps. So how many times does 9 go into 35? Goes into 35 at least 3 times. So now I'm going to multiply. 9 times 3 is 27. Going to subtract. 35 minus 27 is 8. Okay, now I'm going to check. Is 8 less than 9? Yes, it is. Give myself a check mark. And I'm going to bring down the last number, which is 1. So now I have to start at the beginning again. 9 goes into 81 how many times? 9 times. Multiply. 9 times 9 is 81. I'm going to subtract. Get 0. So I'm going to check. Is 0 less than 9? Yes. And I don't have any more numbers to bring down, so it looks like I'm all done. Okay? So 35 divided by 9 equals 39. All right. Now we're going to try one. It's a bigger number, much bigger number, and then that's it. So the last one we're going to do is 3,511 divided by 37. So now we're dividing a multi-digit number by a double-digit number, okay? So this is where it gets a little harder. So we're just going to take it step by step again, and I'm going to lower this a little bit. Let's rewrite it. So this is the same as saying 3,511 over 37. Okay, I'm going to rewrite it over here. So we're going to put the denominator on the outside, numerator on the inside. Okay, now we're going to start with our steps. First thing is to divide. And if this helps you, go ahead and cover the numbers. Move this paper, sorry. Okay, so how many times does 37 go into 3? 37 goes into 3 0 times. So I'm going to put a 0 here, okay? Now I'm going to multiply. 37 times 0 is 0. I'm going to subtract. 3 minus 0 is just 3. Okay, now I'm going to check. Don't forget to do this check. It'll help you. 3 is less than 37, so I'm going to put a check mark. If my number here was larger than 37, that means that I probably made a subtraction error or I made a multiplication error. Okay, so you want to do that check. So now that I did the check, I got to bring down. So I'm going to bring down the 5. Okay, so now how many times does 37 go into 35? 37 goes into 35 0 times. Okay, because this number is still too small. 37 can't go into it. So I'm going to do the same thing again. 37 times 0 is, again, 0. I'm going to subtract. Okay, I'm on this step so far. 35 minus 0 is just 0. I'm going to check. Is 35 less than 37? Yes, it is. I'm going to give it a check mark. Okay, and now I'm going to bring down the next number, which is 1. Okay, so now, how many times does 37 go into 351? 37 will go into 351 at least 9 times. So I'm going to put a 9 up here. Okay, and now that I've divided, I've done the step up here. Sorry, you can't see that. I've done this step up here. Now I can multiply. So 37 times 9 is going to be 333. I'm going to subtract. Okay, so 351 minus 333 is going to be 18. Okay, so now I have to check. Is 18 smaller than 37? Yes, it is, so I'm going to give it a check mark. Okay, I know I did that right, so I know my subtraction and my multiplication are correct so far. Now the last one that I need to do is to bring this down. So I brought that down. Now, how many times does 37 go into 180? Okay, so 37 goes into 181 at least 4 times. And I know that because I'm just doing some mental math. I know it goes into it at least 4 times. So I'm going to put a 4 up here. Okay, now I'm going to multiply 37 times 4, and that's 148. Okay, so now I'm going to subtract. I believe that's 30. Now I'm going to check. I've completed all of those steps. Okay, I'm on the check and then the bring down. So is 33 less than 37? Yep. So that means I did my multiplication right and my subtraction. Now do I have anything to bring down? No. So I'm going to have a remainder. So my answer is going to be 94 with a remainder of 33. Okay? So this is my answer. I'll write my answer right here, just so it's clear. All right, so make sure if you do have a remainder, you write the remainder up top there. And then we're just doing the same thing we've been doing in class with long division. Just remember to follow those steps up there. And if you ever need to, you can always write it on the side here, like DMSCB. You can always just write that on the side of your paper so you make sure you're following all the steps. Okay, try the Got It problems on pages 216 and 217.